At 4:12 a.m., on a quiet street in Sofia, an unmarked convoy rolled to a stop. Inside the building ahead, no signs, no windows, sat a server farm holding the secrets of one of the biggest digital frauds ever attempted. But the question that haunted investigators was simple. How did a handful of operators convince the world their coin was real and vanish with nearly $1 billion? It started as a promise, a frictionless cryptocurrency that claimed to be faster, cleaner, safer. Behind it was a network of shell companies, spanning Dubai, London, Singapore, each projecting legitimacy, each masking the same hidden core. Investors flooded in, regulators fell behind, and for years the scheme grew unchecked, until one misstep exposed everything. This is the story of the raid that brought it all crashing down. The operation called itself Nebula Coin. On paper, it claimed a revolutionary blockchain, instant settlements, zero fees, and provably unlimited scalability. But buried deep in the white paper were contradictions that only seasoned analysts would catch. Most didn't. What mattered was the hype, the stage conferences, the charismatic spokespeople, the aggressive buy-in bonuses. Within 18 months, Nebula Coin reported $1 billion in global investment. The first investigator to question the numbers was a junior analyst at a European financial crimes unit. She noticed something odd. Most of Nebula Coin's market activity came from just 12 wallets. Wallets that never interacted with the broader crypto ecosystem. They only traded with each other, a closed loop designed to simulate volume, fake liquidity masking a hollow asset. But the real breakthrough came when investigators traced one of the wallets to a hosting company in Bulgaria, a company with no website, no listed employees, and no customer reviews. Just a name, a physical address, and a server rack leased under an alias. If Nebula Coin was synthetic, this was its bloodstream. A global web digging deeper, the team uncovered a maze of interconnected companies. Most existed only on paper, registered by the same two legal firms, paid through identical anonymous wire transfers. One company handled exchange services. Another operated education programs. Another owned the trademarks. Together, they formed the illusion of a sprawling corporate empire. But in reality, they were controlled by a handful of individuals working out of a single building. Then came the twist. Nebula Coin wasn't just a scam built on fake trading volume. Investigators discovered that the blockchain wasn't a blockchain at all. It was a centrally controlled database, editable by anyone with admin access. Transactions could be inserted, deleted, modified at will. The founders weren't merely selling a worthless coin, they were creating investors' balances out of thin air. The scheme might have lasted longer if not for a single error. During a global live stream announcing Nebula Coin's Phase 2, the company's lead operator accidentally displayed a debugging dashboard. Viewers saw transaction fields that shouldn't exist in a decentralized system. Fields for manual adjustment, override, and new balance issuance. Within hours, screenshots spread across crypto forums. Withdrawals skyrocketed. Nebula Coin froze all accounts. And that's when international agencies moved. On the morning of the raid, more than 30 officers surrounded the unmarked building in Sofia. Inside, they found rows of servers humming in the dark, running the entire Nebula Coin network. Hard drives, ledgers, offshore banking summaries, passport copies, internal emails, all left in place. Most of the operators had fled, boarding flights the night before. But the data remained, enough evidence to unravel the full scope of the fraud. Over the next year, multiple arrests were made across Europe and the Middle East. Several ringleaders remain under investigation, and some are still believed to be hiding overseas. Authorities recovered millions, but the majority of the stolen funds were moved through mixers and offshore banks, likely gone forever. Behind the headlines were ordinary people. Teachers, retirees, students, each convinced they were early adopters in a new financial revolution. Many invested life savings. The psychological impact, investigators later noted, rivaled the financial one. Nebula Coin exposed a vulnerability larger than any single scam. The very features that make cryptocurrency borderless and decentralized also make fraud agile, scalable, and difficult to stop. In a marketplace built on belief, confidence becomes currency. And when that confidence collapses, it collapses fast. On that morning in Sofia, investigators didn't just seize servers. They unplugged a fantasy, one crafted to look inevitable, unstoppable, undeniable. But in the end, it was just a story held together by trust, illusion, and silence. And when the raid broke that silence, the entire empire vanished. Because in the world of digital money, the greatest risk isn't volatility, it's believing the wrong people.